can play the video. So this is a video. So they were pranking this old lady. The daughter pranked her and decided to order. Sorry, it's playing. It's a bit slow. So while the video is coming up, they were pranking the old lady. The daughter ordered a Waymo. A Waymo is a fully automated driverless car. It's a driverless taxi. You basically call it with your phone. So today we can call a taxi using Uber or Bolt apps, right? This one takes it to the next level. When it arrives, there's no one inside. Okay? You get into the car, it takes you where you want to go. You don't have to do anything because you will have already set the destination, the source and the destination.
Right, here she is. She's coming.
Aunt Chippy? Hello. How are you this morning?
Tired already.
Oh, no. It's only 11 o'clock. All right, let's get you settled in here. Is that tight?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us a belch there. Oh, God. Excuse me. Okay. Tell her you have to use the crapper.
I'm so sorry. I have to use the restroom.
Better you should go now.
Yeah, I think you... Okay.
Go.
Okay.
She's very pleasant so far. I think we could change that.
Yeah, let's change it.
Wait.
Sorry for the swearing, Pastor.
Dirty bastard, you want me to die? Holy oh my God!
Hello, I'm Waymo. Let's get you rolling.
Oh my God! Please, oh my God!
You stay in the car for your safety.
Stay in the car for my safety, I will get the out of
For
here!
your safety, you got to check to exit the vehicle at any time.
Oh my God!
I'm Waymo, and nice to meet you. What is your name?
Your ass.
Destination, your ass.
I want to go home. I want to go home. Oh,
We are routed to Las Vegas.
God. Car's driving with no driver. What the hell is wrong with this town?
Share your current location with a family or friend. Is there anyone
Get
in
my
your family
daughter.
you'd like to tell
Get
your
Mickey.
location to?
Get Mickey. Get frickin' Mickey.
Connecting you to Mickey.
Oh my. And it's just me in the car.
All right, so the driver will show up. He'll show up.
The driver was here. He left.
There's no such thing as a car with no driver.
There's a car with no driver and I'm in it.
Okay, I have to go because I have to go.
You have to go. Well, go get somebody to get me back to the show or something.
All right, I gotta go. I got a nail appointment after my Zoom.
You got a nail appointment.
I'll see you later, okay?
Love you. Bye.
Oh my
Hello,
God.
this is Waymo. How is your ride? Let's get you rolling.
I am rolling.
If you would like to talk to a human, please say tech support help.
Tech support help.
Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
What do you mean, how am I doing? I'm doing in a car. I'm driving in a car with no driver.
Okay, that seems to be problematic. Can I get your whereabouts right now?
I have no idea.
Well, what do you see in front of you or behind you or on the
I
side?
see the steering wheel turns by itself.
Okay, you realize how crazy that sounds, right? Ma'am, please
Oh
calm
my
down. I'm trying
God.
to determine your whereabouts.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, please don't use the Lord's name in vain.
Get the hell off this thing. I don't want to talk to you anymore either. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're all idiots. I can't believe this.
Okay, I will transfer you to the robot idiot.
Yeah.
Please.
Put me on with a robot idiot. Oh my God, and the wheel is turning itself.
Hello, I'm with you rolling.
Oh, God almighty.
Ma'am, please refrain from using the Lord's name in vain.
Shut the hell up. Oh, we just went through a yellow light.
Incoming call from Mickey. Do you accept the call?
Yeah. What else? You're going to ask me 100 times anyway.
Mom, where are you? Everyone's
Where are
looking
you,
for you.
your ass? You know where I am? I'm in a car with no driver.
Yes, which was very nice of us to get you a car to the shoot.
Mickey, have you lost your mind? Or don't you give a about me at all?
Mom, ask
Mickey.
the driver how long.
There is no driver! Mickey, to think, I could have ended your life when you were little, and I did.
Thank
Now
you,
you're
I
driving me
appreciate
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
All right, we are rerouting you right now.
You're rerouting me,
And now we are rerouting you.
and now you're rerouting.
And now rerouting.
We are almost to your destination.
Get me over to Jimmy Kimmel Live. I'll get that little bastard. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna beat the out of you. I'm you and your cousin. Are you never finished killing me? Is that why God made me get to this age so I can drop dead in front of you? You little bastard. And you guys, we need a rating of 1 to 10. It was you. Oh, that little bastard's involved too. You.
Sorry, kids.
That was fun.
Did
How
you
do
like
you
it?
think of something like that? Do you know nobody noticed that I'm driving around in a car with no driver?
Pretty great.
Well, if I knew that it was safe, it probably would have
Then
been
there would have
okay.
been no fun. Yeah, then there would have been no
Now you know. Get back in.
What did we see? We saw a lot of things with just that 5-minute video. Let me explain what was going on. So Waymo is fully operational in a few states in the US and soon to be rolled out in the rest of the world. It is one of the technologies that Google has been working on researching and developing around driverless autonomous cars. So Uber is going to be Uberized very soon, meaning you will not have this issue. Think about what this solves, but think about also the implications for the people who are driving the Ubers, right? So the people who are driving the Ubers today will own the Uber, but they won't drive the Uber. So if you don't recognize that, and you are an Uber driver, and you don't shift when they say autonomous cars are launching in South Africa tomorrow, and you still want to hold on to your old Uber, please change the car to an autonomous one. You know, of course, there's cost and things like that. And you stand still, and you say, I still want to keep my old petrol car, you know, with where I'm going to shift the gears and all of that. Then you're going to stay still, and the world will move past you. Okay? So that's what's going on. The technology that's embedded in the autonomous vehicle is artificial intelligence. So while they were pranking her, obviously phoning into the car to talk to her, but the AI is the one that's relaying the calls between her and her daughter and the people that were pranking her. Okay? She's talking to the car. How crazy is that? Right? The car knows where she got on, and it knows where to take her. And there's no human intervention. So just think about what that will mean for disrupting the taxi industry, disrupting how we transport goods and services. And not just the taxi industry, but think about goods industries, where you are moving vegetables, you are moving animal, you know, livestock, etc., etc. Trucks are going to be autonomous as well. So I want to be a little bit sharp, a little bit spicy, and tell you, if you are planning your future as a driver, please stop. It doesn't exist. You don't have a future. There are people that I've spoken to who've told me, Grootman, mangathola nje yazi license yami code 10. Yabo ngizoba driver, ngizoba grand. It doesn't work, guys. And we have to give you straight talk. That's what this session is about. Okay? So those are the type of things that we need to be thinking about. So taking you down memory lane, as I said in the beginning, You see on the screen there, in the 1960s, the top jobs our parents and a lot of us did when we started from what's called the mailing room was clerical jobs. Yes? You were filing. I remember my first job was at Netco, downtown on End Street. I was a home loans clerk. I had a cabinet, a row of cabinets that can fill from that corner to that corner. My job was to process home loans manually. Every file was like this big. I had to check title deed, the calculations, repayments, all the compliance, IDs, who's this, who's selling, who's buying, etc., so I can register the home loan. Everything was done manually. I had a calculator, a Casio calculator, and I used to type and calculate the home loan repayments. Right? Today, if you fast forward, home loan processing is fully automated in most instances with banks. You actually even start the home loan application process online. You submit all your details online. It gets captured online. It gets processed. Somebody just reviews and says everything is fine, check. Or the system will even tell you if you've entered an incorrect ID. Right? Many people used to do that job. Those clerical jobs are no longer there. When we were growing up, as you can see on the slide there, you were either a nurse, a policeman, a doctor, a clerk, right? Or a teacher. Those professions will not go away. But the way in which you become a teacher today versus how you became a teacher in the past, if you don't embrace technology, your students are going to tell you, ma'am, no, you can't now. You see, now we can Google these things. We can AI these things. That thing you said is not correct, ma'am. And you don't know how to use a computer as a teacher. Right? So that's the world. Okay? Lots of paper. If you don't know what that little board thing is, it's not a game. That's how people used to count. Okay? People who had livestock, animals, they would keep track of how many animals they had with stones. So somebody came up with the idea of making this little apparatus there, which is literally moving marbles to say, I've got 5, I've got 10 of these, I've got 3 of those, etc. And if somebody just messed up that board, now you don't know how many cattle you have. Okay? And that at the bottom there with the buttons that look a little bit like a computer is a typewriter. Who still uses a typewriter today? No one. So what happens to those jobs that dependent on typewriters? They are gone. The top 10 skills in 2025, according to the World Economic Forum, are those ones. This is just for 2025. Okay? Look at the difference. Analytic thinking and innovation. Okay? Active, inspiring, and learning strategies. So a lot of the work is going to be around intellecting, right? Using your brain, your creativity. Because a lot of the manual tasks that you used to do in the previous slide, will be automated. Whole factories, Toyota, when there was a protest in KZN recently, was because Toyota was implementing an upgrade on their factory plant. And in that upgrade, they were saying they were shaving off a few hundred jobs because the plant is now going to be automated. They're going to implement robots, right? Now, those 100 people, and I happen to have a sister-in-law who works for Toyota. She told me that before that was announced, they were told that you need to go on courses to retrain yourself so that you can operate the robots as opposed to being the one that's packing, grinding, turning the screws and so on. The people that lost their jobs are people who said, ngiyafunda manje futhi, sikolweni. And that's what happens when you stand still. Okay? So they've done that. The upgrade has gone because it's more efficient, it's quicker, they can produce more, productivity increases, etc. They have to compete as a business with all other businesses. So you see, complex problem solving, right? So when we talk about global jobs, these are the skills that people are looking for. When you set up your social media profile, whether it's on LinkedIn or Insta, on the gram or whatever, and somebody, kind of DMs you and says, I need somebody who can help me think about a new concept of how I can, design things for the millennials, the Gen Zs. Think. They don't say do, they say think. So that's what's going on. Let me move a little quicker. The top 10 fastest growing jobs that will be relevant in 2030 based on the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is basically a gathering of people from around the world, typically, politicians, business people, heads of industry and business. And these are the smart people, they are captains of industry, and they come together and they say, this is where we see our businesses going, right? So I'm not making this stuff up. It's researched, it's discussed, it's confirmed because that's the plan, that's in the plans of industries today, okay, of what jobs will be relevant for them in the future. So if you are not in analytical thinking, look at the first one, right at the top there. What is it? AI. So if you are not relevant in the world of AI, you're going to miss half of the job opportunities, if not more, yeah? There's cybersecurity. With the world of digital, there's also security, And security has become such an important opportunity for this world that we live in. And I'm not just talking about security guards, physical security. I'm talking about digital security as well, right? At any given point in time in South Africa, we have 2.5 million vacancies for cybersecurity professionals. 2.5 million job opportunities for cybersecurity professionals in South Africa. Let me give you another stat. South Africa is responsible for it's about 67% of cybersecurity threats in totality across the African continent. So what that means is that we have the most incidents of cybersecurity, and we also have the most hackers in South Africa. So hackers need policemen, but not the policemen that we had in the old days. They need digital policemen. They need cybersecurity professionals. Hint, hint. I said when I'm talking, just think about what opportunities these mean for you. Okay? Let me move on. Let's go down memory lane. A little bit of a history lesson so that we can put things in context. Matumane is now looking at this slide with fond memories of her IBM days, when she was still working on mainframes, Who knows what a mainframe is? A mainframe computer. Do we know? So the first, let's call it real computational device that was designed was called a mainframe. A mainframe, to put it in context, let me ask you, see that if you look at the top, on your side, it's top left-hand corner, there. See those, does anybody watch James Bond movies? Ish, I'm showing off my age now. There's the James Bond movie called Dr. Doom, and he goes into this room and there's like these cabinets with spinning wheels and stuff. Those were mainframes. And in those days, they were very sophisticated devices. But guess what? Do you know what the storage capacity of a mainframe was? The first one. 1 megabyte. 1 megabyte. And that was very, very big in those days. Let's put that in context. Your phone today, traditionally, at 1 gig of storage won't last you a day because of the amount of streaming, Insta, posting, all that stuff that you do. The typical phone today starts at 128. gigs, right? Because if you have a phone less than that, you'll be running out of space, and you'll be like, "Eish, the phone, man. Young Dina, has man funny upgrade," you know? Right? So that's the reality. Now, you've multiplied storage and processing power 1,000,000-fold from that time to now. From 1945, when the first computer was, was designed and developed. So look at the timeline. There's two things that are happening. The first thing that's happening is that we moved away from these big, clunky storage devices. So for instance, if you were to try and fit the computational capability that's on your phone into the old mainframe of those days, Pastor T would have to rent out this whole hall to just put mainframes so they can do what one cell phone in your pocket does today. Does it make sense? So technology got smaller and smaller and smaller, faster and faster and faster, and it became much more efficient. But in that process, human beings are also becoming smarter. Or, let me put it differently, you have to be smarter. Because you can't do things the old way. Moving from mainframes, we went into the client-server, sort of era where you started to have PCs, your 15-inch, 12-inch, 10-inch PCs at home. The problem with those PCs was that you had to go home to go and do computing. It wasn't connecting to anything. And so the problem was, now if I want to share information with you, like I'm doing an assignment and so on, hey, how do we do this thing? Okay, now we came up with floppy drives. Do you know what a floppy drive is? I actually should have brought a floppy drive, and I have it at home. A floppy drive was literally like, a 1.44 megabytes of storage, external device. Now, I want to show you. So we moved from mainframes to a floppy drive. A floppy drive was 1.44 megs. It could only have that much storage. Today, guess how much this USB stick holds? It holds 64 gigs of data. This small thing. Remember, I said to you, a mainframe was 1 megabyte. 64 gigs in this thing. All right? So what does this all mean? What's the significance? The significance of it is that computing is becoming more and more personalized, right? Computing is becoming more and more, there's a big English word called ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Even if you think you are not in technology, you're actually in technology, you are using it. If you've got a cell phone, you are using technology. The question is, how are you using that technology? How are you maximizing your opportunities using that technology? If I fast forward, just in the interest of time, laptops, portable devices, etc., we started to get into networked devices that can connect wirelessly or through wired infrastructure, right? And those devices are your tablets, your laptops, your pocket, and I call them pocket PCs instead of mobile phones. Because the computational capability of your pocket PC is 1,000,000-fold than the computational capability of a mainframe. And that's important. I spoke about the PC evolution. I'm going to skip through that very quickly. But yes, from those big clunky devices that you had at home to laptop devices, and effectively, we are becoming more and more mobile, and computing is becoming more and more pervasive. It's around us everywhere we go and with everything that we do. In the same way, entertainment is also becoming more personalized, and it's becoming more and more available. I showed you a CD at the beginning. For abantu abadala, in the audience, I know the children will not know, but that first thing, that's got like almost like a flowery, what? Anybody that can tell me what that one is? Abantu abadala will know. That first device, that one, at the bottom there. A gramophone. And the gramophone was the beginning of how entertainment used to be delivered in the old days. They used to wind it up, had a spring coil, and it used to play vinyls. Analog entertainment. And fast forward, I showed you a tape, I showed you a Walkman, I showed you an iPod, and so it went, right? MP3 players, etc. Today, you stream everywhere. You consume things at your own leisure, at your own pleasure, the way you want it, at the time you want it, and the amount of it that you want. So, when I was growing up, you used to buy a record or buy a CD, okay? Whether you want the 15 other tracks on that CD or not, you bought it, Shem. It's yours. But you wanted one track. Today, you buy one track. And people become successful overnight as creators and as musicians with one song. Opportunity. Did you hear that opportunity land? Maybe I should say ping, just so that I can make you aware that this is an opportunity. Okay? And it doesn't take a lot for you to actually be able to embrace this, right? Down memory lane, from bricks to brains. This is what I was talking about in terms of the World Economic Forum, report. In the old days, people used to carry brick phones, cell phones. They were very cool, very expensive. But, fast forward, these things were not practical. And look how far we've come in terms of cell phone technology and mobile technology in general. Moving quickly. Oh, the clicker is not working. Next slide. You see, now we are doing manual technology integration. The phones of the future are integrated devices. They are entertainment devices. They are creative devices. They've got built-in cameras, very powerful cameras. Cameras on a phone today in terms of the megapixels, the resolutions, etc., equate to full production cameras in many instances, right? So what that means is that the creative world is also changing. Today we talk about influencers and so on. No, I love Babashuta, everything, I'm a flower. No, guys. When you are an influencer, you have to come up with something unique. You have to come up with something that people want to see, that people want to view. I don't find enough creative work on YouTube, as an example, of Abu Mama Benza Makwane. Why is that? Yeah? How many people have posted on YouTube on how to make khamer or umqombot? Do you know how many people struggle to make khamer nomqombot magnum sebens? Bing. Let's move on. Let's move on. I need to click and then, okay, sorry. So the future of mobility is not about the device. The future of mobility is about the apps. The apps are what create activity, the things that we want to do, right? Instagram helps you to connect socially and also post things that you'd like for other people to see. Right? An Uber app allows you to call food to come to you. You don't have to go to KFC anymore. Right? So in the app world, you are solving problems using this piece of technology, a software application that's very quick to build, very quick to deploy, to help other people solve the same problem. When you look around where you live, how many problems do you encounter? And have you thought about, just be curious and say, how can I build an app, that can tell the mothers who've dropped off their kids at a crash, that their kids are ready to be picked up. A simple scenario like that. You know? How can I build an app that I can just take a picture of a pothole, send it to the Maspala and, you know, and ask them, please, section what, zone ban, there's a pothole. Those things are needed. They solve problems, right? And the world of phones is not going to stop because, as I said, it is the pocket PC. You know, it's everywhere we go, right? It provides information, valuable information about your movements, about where you shop, where you socialize, where you learn, you know, where you sleep, you know, where you eat. And so they are not going anywhere. Data is the new gold. And by the way, something to remember, if your app is free, then you are the product. Let me say that again. If your app is free, then you are the product. Go and investigate what that means. Because the business models behind how you monetize in the app ecosystem, in the app economy, have fundamentally changed. And we talk about freemium models now, where you monetize in the back end because you're advertising, or you monetize in the back end because the enterprise that wants that particular piece of data will pay you for that piece of data. Those are the opportunities. They're not obvious. They become sophisticated. But you need to be curious. So we have an app explosion, you know, everywhere. In China, if you've ever been to that part of town, post-COVID, they have gone completely contactless. So what that means is that everything you do, from buying a ticket for a train to how you pay for your food at a supermarket, is all on a mobile phone. And they've got specific apps that are accepted nationally. For instance, Alipay is big in China, right? You connect your credit card in your bank account or whatever to your cell phone, like you do with Apple Pay and Google Play these days. And that's how you transact. You don't touch anything. They don't want anybody touching anything because they're afraid of, you know what, right? That one, that virus. So everything is contactless. And if you go there and you are not in that space, you will be very frustrated. You call a taxi and you say, I want to pay for my taxi, and you take out cash and they say, no accept cash. No accept cash, no. So those things are real and they are coming. We are starting to see that world come through. The internet growth in South Africa has been explosive, right? With the growth in the internet and 51 million plus people, I think the latest stats is probably about 57 million people being online. Why is it that when you are, you know, launching a product, there's so many creative young people, you know, in Soweto, so many, with some really, really cool stuff. And some of them have become big based on their creativity. We all know about Batu and, you know, those creators who've made, you know, a lot of money based on their creativity and built industries for themselves, right? And there's many different, there are people who fix things, who, you know, who are very good in one thing or the other, right? And even some of the basic things that you think are just basic, that nobody wants. But if you're going to launch a product or start a business, you cannot grow without embracing the internet, putting your business out there. Because when you put it on the internet, immediately you give it access to a global set of eyeballs, billions of eyeballs, people who will look at your product and say, wow, I never knew that that came from Africa. I never knew that that was possible in Africa. Tell you a story. I'll come to it later. No, let me not jump. Now, this is the interesting thing, is that 9.5 hours plus spent online per average human being in South Africa. If you take an average, 9 hours out of 24 hours. Let's minus your sleeping time, right? 7 hours, let's say. Okay? So how many hours are left for everything? You see, the math is not mathing. Can I hear the math? Huh? The issue here is that we look at our phone, we glance at our phone no less than 600 times in a day. Do you know that? Even if you're not doing anything, you see, like President now is glancing at his phone. 600 times a day, even if you're just checking. So the phone has become the platform for you to engage with people on products, on church things, on motivation, on leadership, on education, everything. So if you're not leveraging the platform, where are you? You are going to print a flyer and stand on the side of the road and say, here's my business. I've just started a transport business. Doesn't work. It's more costly and it's not effective. Ping, ping, ping. 6.5 hours plus spent watching TV. And not just any TV, but streaming. Netflix, YouTube. Okay? Sorry, my president. Oh, did I press? Ish. Sorry. Finger problems. Can you go back to that slide, please? Sorry. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, 6.5 hours plus spent on streaming. What that means is that now the phone and the TV, because we are now in the era of smart TVs, are extensions of one another. So if you want to engage with your audience, you want to engage with them on those platforms as well, right? Thank you. Let me move quickly. Click through. Click. Yes, thank you. So these are just some stats that give you a view on media usage, right? Internet penetration is high, but internet usage is, equivalently high, as opposed to your traditional media. People are not reading newspapers, okay? Physical newspapers, people are not reading them. It's a fact. The world has moved on. So if you are posting your business, your hair salon, Cindy's, chic hair salon, and you're putting it on the Soweto, and you are playing. You need to be blogging, you need to be showing people, you need to be doing videos and posting them on Insta and showing them customers who are smiling after you've done their makeup and they're dressed in their wedding gowns. I'll show you. That's how you engage. That's how you grow business. That's how you create opportunities using technology. I talked about apps. I want to talk about apps in the context of focusing on app development as opposed to infrastructure. So infrastructure today is taken care of by President. President doesn't want you touching infrastructure. It's his game. The big corporates are saying, don't worry about the complexity of how you build a cloud infrastructure, make computing available everywhere, except we do that best. All you do is enable yourself to be productive using that infrastructure. Okay? Build applications, build use cases, build things that will enable businesses to thrive, and build things that will enable you to be the best person you can be. So coding as a discipline, as a profession, is just going to get more important. So the people who are saying AI is going to take away coding, because AI can code itself. Okay? It automates coding. So you can download script, you plug it into a Gemini interface, right? And you say, can you debug this thing for me? It will look at it and will say, oh, I found these bugs. And then you do the run and you check the code. But it doesn't end there, because you still require your own creativity to innovate more on those baseline codes. To be able to innovate on code